People don't believe in things like that. They don't believe in things like that because they want to be fooled. They want to live in a fairyland. Yeah. They want to live in a make-believe world. They want to pretend that things like that don't happen. But they do happen. But it did happen. That not only did happen, it's going to happen again. You take this country right now, I've read you enough stuff from time to time to show you how things are going. This country right now, while I'm standing here talking to you, is moving toward a police state. It's moving toward a police state with the Gestapo, and the Gestapo has liberties to come in and enter and break and enter and armed robbery and trespass. They don't have to pay attention to the Constitution at all. They can just step right in. Here's a good one here. Most of the men who got out of Waco, who survived, are in jail charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Not a one of them ever killed anybody in their life. Oliver Gayfus Jr., an Australian, has been jailed for over 3 months as a material witness without being charged with a crime, without deposition, and held on no bail bond. And no trial, and no charge with a crime, just held so they can use him to cover up. David Koresh was declared guilty the day before the raid, and we see now 20 billboard signs around Waco paid for by the government thanking the potential jurors for the upcoming trials. Talk about a prejudiced trial. You put up 20 signs saying thank you for serving on a jury to condemn this fellow with. It is obvious the ATF fired first. They held no regard for the women and children. They used hand grenades. The helicopters had automatic guns and were firing in the building where the women and children were before they ever gassed them, trying to kill women and children. In a TV tape not available, it is plainly visible that a tank had a flamethrower torching the building seconds before the fire broke out. At 4:48 the same day, it was easy to see in a video a new large plywood box being carried to the burned-out crime scene after. It took several men to carry it. The next day, a 50 caliber machine gun tripod was visible on the screen where there was none the day before. They planted bogus evidence there and photographed it and said it was there. They carried it in themselves. The Gestapo never pulled it off any better than that. On the subject of David Koresh and the life in Mount Carmel, we asked many survivors what it was like. It was not a commune, it was not a cult. Everyone had their own possessions, had freedom to come and go as they wished. They were all devout Bible readers. Well. They strongly deny that he had more than one wife or that he had sex with adolescent girls. You murdered 83 people on rumor. Bragged about it, got away with it, and not one man that committed a murder was charged with murder. The fellows who didn't commit murder are all charged with murder. Question. Is it Janet Reno's knowledge that Christians teach lesbianism is a sin, the reason she ordered the massacre, and the reason she proudly bragged about it? For instance, Chronicle magazine, April 1993, many homosexuals in Miami, Florida have contacted us and told us Reno's lesbianism is common knowledge among the gay community. Janet Reno's opponent, when she was Attorney General, said the committee had preliminary evidence unexpectedly fallen in their lap that Reno had been pulled over 5 times while driving under the influence. A drunken lesbian getting 83 people killed, and everybody patting in the back saying, my, what a wonderful job you did. Let me tell you something, folks. She's coming, and the new breed of criminal is not a drug dealer or a fornicator or an adulterer or a doper or a homosexual or a killer or a robber. The new criminal is a Bible-believing religious fanatic. That's the new breed. When Hitler took over and got going after those people, he got them on their religion. They were Jews. He said they were abusing children. As a matter of fact, he said they were sacrificing children as Passover lambs. That's an old Catholic gimmick from the Dark Ages. You take that stuff, the gun control laws Hitler passed in 1933 are the gun control bills that are now before Congress by a fellow named Metzenbaum and another woman. It's funny how some of these women all suddenly showed up, and who they showed up, the government just fell apart. It's strange. There's been something wrong with you women in governmental positions. So Roberta and Janet and Hillary and Sarah shows up, all hell breaks loose. I mean, you kill a dozen children that are 10 years old with poison gas and say, we wanted to keep them from being slapped. Imagine somebody worrying about child abuse and then murdering your kid with poison gas. That gas is CS gas, and that is banned by an international treaty for use in armed warfare. But it's all right to use on kids if they're in a Bible school. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.